Every human being in nature is divine. It has been said throughout centuries that when you remember God, God remembers you. But will you never think deeply on that divine saying, divine verses, divine scriptures? However, when we start to contemplate, speaking of contemplating, this is when we start to dive deep into our meditative mindset, where we start to become more mindful of the ultimate truth of who we are. Ultimate wisdom comes to those who are looking for a ultimate truth and ultimate reality, which is divine in their nature. Divine in their nature. But throughout centuries and through the rat race of this world, we have forgotten our nature. Therefore, we continue to suffer what we call the separation between the body and the soul. Hence, we are suffering the condition of love we are seldom able to feel, and we are suffering an identity crisis in our existence individually. Many worship God thinking He is far off in the skies somewhere. Many worship Him trying to bring Him close to Him. The mystics, the Sufi masters teach us God is not far from you at all. He is where you are. You just have to stop running. You have to turn within. You have to look within your own self. You have to recognize yourself. My beloved master said early this Friday that all of your actions are based on your intention. And if you purify your intention, you will do righteous actions. All the corruption that is out there in the world today is only because of one reason. It is because of our intention is not pure. If we purify our intentions, then we will have purified actions. We look for God, we worship, we pray, we continuously do religious activities, but what we don't change is our intentions. And our job, our focus is to purify the intention. Once we purify the intention, then we can recognize who is behind the intention, who is behind our thoughts, who is behind the veil of this existence that we are living today in this body. Many times we repeat this verse of Rumi that we are not this hair, we are not this skin. We are not this hair, I am not this hair, I am not this skin. But we are lost in the world of words. We are unable to get to the root of the self, realizing the nature of who we are in divinity. An individual is on a journey individually to realize themselves absorbed in this world, in the hereafter, but living in the source. Meaning, he is fully present in this world, she is fully present in the hereafter, and yet the attention is in the source. Who is source? before you were born, before the beginning of this existence, which we call this world, in the beginning, there was only God. And what we are here to do is to realize who are we in this flesh, in this existence, and to realize that we must turn inwards. We have to change our perception. We have to change our thought, connect ourselves to one single thought, one God, one thought, and you bring yourself ultimately to your divinity within yourself. How? Some may ask, how do we do this? We start with a struggle of strenuous effort. We start to put effort in our spiritual work. And this is very necessary in today's world. We are giving excellent amount of time to eating organic foods. We're giving good time to make sure we are healthy. We are making sure financially we are fit. How much time are we giving to the soul, the nature of the soul, and actually who you are from the beginning of time? How much time are we giving being the soul, being the soul? Now this recognition will come to those that have a divine nature and an intention to finally be with their true self. Everyone has a different journey. Everyone gets to that source in a different way. However, where are we reaching when we're looking for that source? In the beginning, there is individual effort. One may meditate often. One may pray very often. One may do the mantra very often. Continuously, some type of a form of religious or spiritual activity, effort is being put towards aligning the mind, the heart, the body, the soul into one single pointedness. As this month is also a very spiritual and strong month that has started, where many people in the world fast from sunrise to sunset. But the meaning of the fast is lost throughout generations. The mysticism is lost throughout generations. We were fasting only for God. We were fasting only for Allah. Only for your divine beloved who gave you this reality that you are living in today. You exist because you were created. So be thankful that you are here and now. And when you are here and now accept all there is to be accepted that you have been given as it is. You have climbed another dimension of the veil by just accepting, just being in this now, today, as you have been given the reality by the beloved maker of your existence. So be thankful for it. But where do we lose the meaning of fasting? We think that we are fasting only to be hungry throughout the day. But we forget that this is spiritual action. This is a spiritual work. What is spiritual? Spiritual meaning you are a spirit in action. You are a spirit in action, and you are existing in divine nature, realizing yourself as that nature that God made you to recognize Him within your own self. When you're fasting from your wrong thoughts. You're fasting from horrible feelings, prejudice, hate, envy, lust, greed. You are realizing yourself as a pure being. You are fasting mentally, and you are fasting your stomach from the outside indulgence So that can include all types of indulgence that you are used to. So you are changing yourself by changing the way you think, changing the way you feel, changing the way you are, and purifying yourself gradually, leading yourself to your human divine nature. And imagine a world collectively, imagine a world as collective consciousness. If a handful of people recognize themselves and not run after all the illusion and desires, and finally understanding that the root cause of my evil is my desires, the root cause of me being attached to what is not and leaving behind what is where my intention is and what is my desire. Building our nature, building our characteristics, gradually, every day, as we spend time fixated on this body, in the same way, fixate yourself on recognition of the soul. I do not exist. It is only my beloved, says Rumi. I do not exist. If I do not exist, then the veil of I and you does not exist. Then who does exist? This is the contemplative question to your own self individually. Look around you. Look at your families. Start witnessing. Start observing deeply. Contemplating in every observation. Paying attention in all your observation. Paying attention in all your witnessing. That the human beings in front of you that you are witnessing, the nature that you are witnessing, deeply observe and witness who you are observing, who you are witnessing, and you will see naturally, your soul and the other soul. You will see, you will experience you and the other. There is no other. There is only one. There is only oneness. We say oneness. We say Tawheed, which is oneness with God. So this is all God's plan. And we are all in this one oceanic bubble together. Not one person is better than the other. No human, two humans are alike. But at the same time, the nature, the essence of all of reality is one. And for us to get to that reality, we must remove the fog that has covered our minds. We must remove the fog that has covered our minds. And to remove the fog, our great saints, our mystic masters, were given birth on this earth to help us heal our hearts. If you see, if you notice, if you have researched in your studies of mysticism, Sufism, or any religious background, you will see that the prayer, the mantra, the zikr, the meditation, all are guiding you towards the same single one path. Everybody's climbing the same mountain from different angles, reaching the same top. No one human being is different, and all are plans given by God, reaching the same divine call that is written in the destiny of man within their own nature, within their divine self. The mystics say, La mawjood illallah. La mawjood illallah. There is no reality, only Allah. There is no reality, only exists Allah. Only exists God. And how do we get there? When you purify yourself through various methods. In our method, we focus on the method of zikr, which is a mantra or a chant, you may say, remembrance that invokes the heart and removes the cloud off the mind. And the chant, the zikr, the remembrance, the more you perform this zikr, the more you remove the fog from your mind, and you invoke the valley of the heart for the door to open within the valley of your heart. The door opens and the flow of divine comes right through you. You become the channel of divine consciousness. You yourself become God consciousness. That God's channel is activated within you, working through you, and all around you, those that are suffering will purify because the light of God has been lit and inflamed, illumined within your own self. Purification of the heart is with the zikr of Allah. When you do zikr of Allah, you purify your heart. When you remember God, you purify your heart. And when you purify your heart, what are you purifying from? You are purifying yourself from attachments to this world, from this illusion. And you're illuminating yourself once again. And you're becoming again in oneness with your divine nature. You become in oneness with your divine nature. You make the zikr continuously. You make the effort of making remembrance continuously, under your breath, outside your breath, in your breath, with your voice, without your voice, in your mind, with your thoughts, all around you when you look around. We say God is wherever we go. God is wherever you are. Try to think about that when you look around. God is wherever I go. God is everywhere. God is everywhere. We say no existence, only Allah. There is no reality, only Allah. So we don't just say that. We don't do the zikr. We don't just recite the zikr. We actually invoke this reality into existence, which was already there. So what is this called in simple terms? You are channeling yourself back to the one truth that is divine in all of mankind. It is sitting there ready to be witnessed. We are looking here and there, but we are dodging our real self. We will do everything, but we will dodge our real self. So what is this doing? We have a lock on our own hearts by choice. So a time comes for every single human being. They will go through life. They will work on themselves. They will create a family for themselves. They will make a home for themselves. They will do every single thing that they desire to do. Then when they come to the end of those desires, they realize, I am not complete. So that's the voice. The soul speaks finally and says that yes, I need my home. I need to return back to my home. I have been letting you play your game here on this earth, but I must return back to my home. I am crying for my home. I need to be back home. So you must realize this home, this nature within your own being. This nature of yourself is within your own self. Find yourself. Do not play a puppet of this world. Instead, become serious, become sincere. As my master says, sincerity is the greatest gift of God. Sincerity is the greatest gift of God. Such a small, beautiful advice. But if you take this one little advice and work through it and go through life just being sincere, you will realize that your intentions are the very reason of your actions. If you have a pure intention, you will have righteous actions. So I would like to end with this advice that my master gave early Friday, that your actions are based on your intention. If you have purified intentions in your actions, you will have great actions. You will have sincere actions. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Now we will focus on